Some actors can fight, some can make us laugh, and some can even break our hearts. But every now and then, an actor steps onto the stage, grabs the mic, and gives a musical performance so powerful it becomes unforgettable. Today we're counting down 5 of the best musical performances by actors on the big screen. Let's get into it. By the by, I'm the movie guy, and let's start this list. At number 5, we have Jack O'Connell delivering the Irish folk staple Rocky Road to Dublin. Sinners, directed by Ryan Coogler, is a genre-blending film set in 1932 Mississippi that weaves together elements of supernatural horror, southern gothic, and musical storytelling. O'Connell plays Remick, an Irish vampire whose arrival disrupts a local juke joint and whose presence forces a collision of cultural and musical worlds. What's remarkable here is how O'Connell doesn't just sing, he performs. In the scene, he leads a vigorous rendition of Rocky Road to Dublin, complete with Irish jig dancing built into his vampire persona. He trained with a dance instructor to revive those steps, he had not danced publicly in years, and filmed the sequence overnight in a single intense stretch. The performance functions as both spectacle and haunting cultural echo, an Irish folk tune reframed through a supernatural southern lens. From the haunting folk vampire energy of Sinners, we shift gears to a full-on biopic. At number 4, Jamie Foxx gives a masterclass in transformation in Ray, channeling one of music's greatest legends. Ray, directed by Taylor Hackford, traces roughly 3 decades in the life of Ray Charles, from his impoverished, sightless childhood through triumphs, addiction, and musical innovation. It dramatizes the tension between genius and vulnerability, showing how Charles pushed boundaries by fusing gospel, blues, R&B, and pop. Foxx doesn't just act as Ray, he becomes him. He performed many of the piano and vocal parts himself, bringing authenticity to scenes like What Did I Say and Hit the Road Jack. His physicality, timing, and emotional nuance matches the music's spirit. Critics and audiences alike praise how seamlessly he merged performances and character, making you believe every note, every hesitation. In Ray, the music isn't just a backdrop, it's Ray's voice, identity, and burden. Foxx holds that tension brilliantly. When he hits a crescendo on piano or softens into a vulnerable lyric, you don't see the actor, you see the legend. From the raw, soul-soaked power of Jamie Foxx's Ray Charles, we now turn to one of the most iconic voices in film history. At number 3 is Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music. Released in 1965 and directed by Robert Wise, The Sound of Music became one of cinema's most beloved musicals. Based on the real-life Von Trapp family, it follows Maria, a spirited postulant turned governess who brings love and music into a household overshadowed by strict order and the looming threat of World War II. Julie Andrews' voice is pure clarity, technically flawless yet emotionally charged. Her rendition of songs like The Sound of Music, My Favorite Things, and Do Re Mi didn't just elevate the film, they become cultural touchstones. What sets her apart is the way she marries vocal mastery with warmth. Her singing feels like an extension of Maria's optimism and resilience. Andrews brings joy and conviction to every note. She's not simply performing music, she's using it to connect characters, to heal, and to inspire. More than half a century later, her performance still defines what we imagine when we think of cinematic musicals. After Julie Andrews' timeless grace, we head into something very different, equal parts parody and powerhouse performance. At number 2 is John C. Reilly in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox Story. Released in 2007, directed by Jake Kasdan and produced by Judd Apatow, Walk Hard is a razor-sharp parody of the musician biopic genre. It follows fictional singer Dewey Cox, whose over-the-top life echoes tropes from Walk the Line, Ray, and countless rock star legends. The film spoofs everything from a tragic childhood to musical rebirths while still giving us surprisingly catchy songs. The brilliance of Reilly's turn is that he plays the comedy seriously. He doesn't wink at the camera, he commits. Reilly performed all the songs himself, covering genres from rockabilly to psychedelic with a voice strong enough to make the music work outside of parody. Tracks like Walk Hard and Let's Do A land as both jokes and genuinely enjoyable performances. In lesser hands, Dewey Cox would be a caricature, but Reilly's mix of sincerity and absurdity creates a cult classic performance, one that both celebrates and lampoons the musical icons it imitates. And finally, topping our list, we return to the modern musical that reignited the genre for a new generation. At number 1 is Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman. Released in 2017 and directed by Michael Gracie, The Greatest Showman is a dazzling original musical inspired by the life of P.T. Barnum. While not strictly biographical, it celebrates spectacle, ambition, and the dream of creating a show for everyone. The film became a worldwide hit, fueled largely by its soundtrack, which dominated charts and playlists for months. Hugh Jackman had long proven his Broadway chops, but here he brought that energy to the screen with unmatched charisma. Songs like The Greatest Showman and From Now On aren't just sung, they're lived. His voice carries both the grandeur of show business and the vulnerability of a dreamer chasing belonging. What makes Jackman shine is his total commitment. He commands the camera with physicality, charm, and emotional sincerity, making even the most theatrical numbers feel grounded in character. Jackman's performance is the heart of The Greatest Showman and is the perfect example of how an actor's musical turn can define an entire film. It's impossible to talk about musical performances by actors without mentioning Barbra Streisand in Funny Girl. In her feature film debut, Streisand reprised her Broadway role as Fanny Brice, delivering powerhouse numbers like People and Don't Rain on My Parade. What makes this performance legendary is the way Streisand balances dazzling vocal skill with genuine emotional depth. She's not just singing beautifully, she's telling Brice's story with every note, shifting from comedy to heartbreak seamlessly. The film won her the Academy Award for Best Actress, instantly cementing her as both a screen and music icon. While Streisand could easily have taken a top spot on this list, her Funny Girl performance is so defining it almost lives in its own category, an actor whose musical performance became a cultural landmark. And there you have it, 5 unforgettable musical performances by actors, plus 1 legendary honorable mention. From gritty biopics to timeless classics and even sharp parodies, these performances prove that when actors step up to the mic, the results can be truly magical. Did I miss one of your favorites? Drop your picks in the comments, I'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep on watching movies, guys.